We Know Nothing podcast. We got up a little late this week. What happened was my computer was down for a long time. We've had some pretty busy schedules, and it also has been a slow game week. So what you're going to hear now is what we recorded a little bit, mostly raw. Just kind of, we kind of had a little bit of fun with this one. Again, not that big of news, and all three of us will come back at the end and talk and wrap it up. So here you go. Welcome to the We Know Nothing podcast. Disagree with anything we're saying? Hit us up on twitter.com/know nothing PC. Like us on facebook.com/know nothing PC. Email us, know nothing, or know nothing PC at gmail.com. Steven's got probably LinkedIn, all these other fucking social websites going on.
I do have a LinkedIn.
For this?
Yes.
Wow.
And check us
Matt.
out on Game Informer.
And Stitcher. And yeah,
iTunes.
Game Informer's new this week.
Yeah, we'll go into that later.
So, Matt, how are we doing? Steven, I know you're being a little pissy today.
Doing good. I'm amped up. I'm ready to go.
Steven? How you doing?
Apparently you think I'm pissy, but I'm doing fine. We're just trolling today.
What have you been playing this week?
A bunch of little stuff. Been continuing the first Borderlands, just kind of comparing this one to when they play the second one. I know the differences. The only new thing, and we'll talk about it later, it's a game called Smite. It's a little different MOBA style game, but I'll go into it after. Besides that, it's just some League of Legends, World of Warcraft leveling. Not much besides that.
Matt, anything new or, a little bit of all Warcraft?
A little bit of League, a little bit of Warcraft. Leveled my Paladin to 85. Been playing Borderlands still. I've completed the first 3 DLCs, and I'm partially the way through the last one. And my plan is to finish out that DLC this weekend before Borderlands 2 comes out on Tuesday.
Playing that for 6 days? Then get ready for Mists.
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
My PC's been down for a little while. Just got back up yesterday night, so I haven't been playing much of WoW or LOL. I picked back up some PS1 classics, though. Xenogears, I'm about halfway through, I think. I have no idea how long the game is, so we'll find out. But I think I'm halfway through, and dicked around with Castlevania, Artful Edge, 2, a few other things.
You can't find your mic, that's why your mic sounds different this week.
Yeah, well, we have to tell everybody that.
On the upside, he won't go robot-y.
Yeah, he won't go robot-y, he'll just sound like he's under 2 feet of water.
You sound like shit anyways, Jesus.
I sound like a pimp.
Yeah, you're fat. Doesn't mean you're a pimp. So, headlines, guys. I'm surprised neither one of you guys even came to me this week about this one. G4 is nearly dead. NBC announced that they are going to reboot the channel. They've done it once before. It used to be 2 separate channels, G4 and Tech TV. Then they're G4 Tech TV, consolidated, and then they're just G4. And now they're going to get rid of it and go to more GQ style. It's going to be based around the modern male, metrosexuals. They're not even carrying over anything. No Attack of the Show, no Cops reruns, nothing like that. I got to ask you first, Steven. We keep talking about the upsides of, how the video game industry is growing. Is this kind of a shot at video games as a whole?
Well, no. The problem with having a 24-hour channel of anything is just in filling that content. Now, Attack of the Show could have been doing fine, but you can't have 24-hour video game news channel. That's why CNN and all these other news channels are filled with bogus stories. We don't even have those in video games. So the fact that we even had a channel to begin with is amazing. You can't have a UFC channel 24/7 talking about everything. They can barely fill They can barely fill 2 hours on FX and Fuel TV that you can only see the same card so many times. So in terms of new content, I don't see a problem with them changing it. I had more of a problem with G4 existing in the first place. I didn't think it was prominent enough as a video game channel to really be anything important anyway.
Matt, do you think this spells disaster for the industry, or at least, a blow?
I think so. I personally like the channel, and if I ever had a cable box when I was at school, or if I had moved out on my own and got it, or had one in my room, I think I would have watched it a lot more. I definitely had plans to when I was in school, but it never ended up happening. But now I'm sad I'm not going to even be able to fulfill that one day.
I have to agree with you. I think it's some kind of shot, but I think it's more one of those. The industry thought it was bigger than it actually is. Thought it was more popular, and it's not just video games we're talking about. Again, they covered a lot of the nerd kind of stuff, superheroes and stuff. But I don't know. I really think Attack the Show will still be on some kind of NBC affiliate. I think they're going to move those guys because that is probably the only thing that kept it alive for so long. 'Cause aside from that, it's a bunch of Steven Seagal films and Cops
I'll
2.0. I'm sorry.
I'll disagree with you a little bit. In terms of channel content, that's not the only thing. I mean, NBC had American Ninja Warrior because Ninja Warrior did so well on G4. Now, I know you guys are saying this is a blow to the community, but besides an hour a day with Attack of the Show, everything else is, as you said, dumb Steven Seagal movies. If the same show is on a new platform, it's not really much of a blow, is it?
Well, it's not just a show. I mean, having a channel dedicated to one topic, it's a bigger deal than having a show dedicated to a topic.
But it wasn't, the whole channel wasn't, though. I mean, like you said, they began covering comic books and they started doing cops. Essentially, they were changing the channel to begin with. It wasn't a video game channel because most of the time, video games weren't featured. Really, the only thing I'd say was video games for over 12 to 14 hours of the day is the dumb commercials they air.
I don't know. They also had X-Play. They had great E3 coverage.
But then they went to the adult, whatever the adult expo was in Vegas, just to fill time. I mean, it was a filler channel to begin with, so I don't think it's that big of a deal.
What are they gonna air E3 on now?
The new GQ type channel. It did awesome ratings for them, so I don't see why they can't carry some of it over. I think when they mean they're reformatting it, they're just cutting cops, cutting the movies that don't totally suck, and just adding in some more things with, women or style or fashion or whatever the fuck they're gonna do.
They're not just cutting part of it; they're cutting the whole program. They even said when we dissolve this, because it's more of a when than an if at this point. When we dissolve it, there will be no Attack the Show. Nothing will carry over. It's not like we're keeping anything.
It was fun
Even
while it
when,
lasted.
even when, and to be fair, even when G4 and Tech TV combined, Attack the Show originally was a Tech TV show instead of G4, and they kind of merged it. And I think I don't know, it created a star or two. Olivia Munn.
Yeah, she's not. I don't know. She's
Oh, she's not
overrated.
that hot.
She's
Yeah.
overrated. So is Candace Bailey, the new one. They're both kind of overrated.
Steve, you just say that because they don't have big boobs.
They got no
Kat
figure.
Kat
No,
Dennings.
she's still not a yes.
She was always a yes until we made fun of you so hard.
No.
I don't know.
Move on.
So I was
Yeah,
going to.
move on because we're nailing you.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
completely nailing me because I don't
Yeah.
like scrawny bitches.
It's not scrawny bitches. It's the fact that they don't have boobs.
No, they don't have a butt either.
If they had a rack, you'd be in love with them.
This is sucking so far. Let's move on.
No, it's not.
Just like your mouth.
Wow, Matt, you killed it.
Playing.
Matt, have you checked your email lately? Did you get anything from Blizzard?
No, why?
No, because the StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm beta went live this week. They sent out a limited. They sent invites to the limited pool of testers, and they expect to expand it like they do with all of their other content. But if you're not bought in for the beta, you might want to do it now because testing has already started.
No,
Uh,
I've been opted in for all the Blizzard betas since they came out with Battle.net. I doubt I'll get a StarCraft 2 one though until like the last weekend of it. Like I got when they released StarCraft 1, the last weekend of beta I got in for like they just gave it out to everybody and then that's how I got in. I assume they'll do something very similar and that's when I'll get it.
Excited for it?
Yes, I am. It'll give me something else to play because I was playing a lot of StarCraft when we first started doing our podcast, but it has since slipped out of my small array of video games.
You left it hanging and small, so it's going to make funny. Steven, do you even care?
Not totally. I mean, like Matt brought up, at first, the whole thing is about the balance, about how it's just not two people countering each other so often. I feel like it's going to have an effect that it had on World of Warcraft. I mean, WoW is still not balanced after 5.0.4. So I can see It's nice that it's going into beta, but you still gotta wait for full release to see anything good.
And we're going to see a lot of exploits, a lot of bugs. I'm not sure if StarCraft 2 or characters fall through maps, but we're going to see a lot of that weird stuff still. So but we'll see how feedback goes. Since it did go live this week, I'm kind of holding my judgment until I see feedback.
I can't wait.
And one thing I wanted to bring up was Matt. Last week we were talking football.
Shut up. Don't even say it. Just move on. It's irrelevant.
Well, I was watching it on a nice Sony. Look at this thing, 54-inch at Casey's house, and Sony just announced this week that the cost for their LED TVs will be $25,000. That's their 84-inch LED TV. Now, is it even worth releasing? I'll go to you, Steven. I mean, Sony, they like to kind of be on the top end of the market. They like to release the higher tech, more expensive things. Is it smart for them to release this? Is this the same kind of PlayStation model we saw, or is this just kind of, I don't know. Will this catch on? Is what I guess what I'm going to ask you.
Well,
It's not just 84 inches LED. It's the TV we mentioned before, the 4,000 resolution.
Oh yeah, I forgot the 4,000 resolution.
Well,
That's like the main point of it. How could you forget that?
because it's been a long day, bro.
all right, I'll just hop in right here to cut you both off because you both cut me off. The giant television market, anything that's above 55 to 60 inches, isn't a very saturated market. You only see about 2 or 3 companies. Most companies don't make anything bigger than a 60 or 65. I think Samsung caps out at 65. I think LG might be 60. So in terms of that, you see a whole bunch of cheap Dynex 90-inch televisions for 10,000. Do I think people are going to go for it? Possibly. I think the market exists. The price tag's a little high, but it always is for Sony. I think they're just trying to get somewhere new in the market where they aren't already. Because you see these losses from Sony. Manufacturing a television this size can't be. The profit margin's probably so much more giant from a television like this, where they don't even have to bother making it until they get an order, basically. So, I mean, it's mostly profit for them. I do see people buying it, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Matt, what do you think of the strategy overall of trying to be the first and the best in this market?
Well, it kind of worked. If you want to go with like the first in the market ideal, and you saw the Xbox 360 was released first, and that ended up doing a lot better. Are you kidding me?
What?
You. You know exactly what.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, shut up. You're a faggot.
That's
I have a
that's hate
feeling I
speech.
see.
I don't condone that hate speech. What were you
Yeah, what
saying?
do you do?
He spammed me on League of Legends, and it's not like Skype where it's like dull in the background, you can ignore it. It's like loud pings. Bing, 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 bing.
Way to be Polish there, Matt. Where were you even on your topic or on your thought?
I don't remember.
First to market, Xbox works
First
for
to
them.
market. Xbox 360 was in the first in the market, and they got such a jump on the PlayStation 3 when the PlayStation 3 came out a year later. They were already a year behind. Their sales weren't doing so hot at the beginning, and I think if Sony's trying to jump to the first in the market, it's gonna do good for them. Like Steve said, it's not that saturated of a market. It's not like they have to mass produce these things and possibly not sell them. They can get an order for one and ship it out and make a pretty penny on it.
Well, let's look at it this way, though. You bring up console sales.
It
Every
was
month that the PlayStation has been out, compared to however many months Xbox has been out, units sold per month is higher on the PS3 than it is 360. I don't know why everyone has this illusion that Xbox has kicked PlayStation's ass, maybe for the first year, but I mean they've caught up and they've actually sold more per month than Xbox has. They still, I think they're still catching up. Last I heard was in March or April with the numbers. They're still a couple million behind, but they both have roughly the same number. So Sony can catch up in the market. I think the only problem that they have is what you see with the PlayStation is they lose money. I think with television they're not going to lose that money. That's why it has such a high price tag. But like PlayStations, they lost out. They lost money for everyone sold. So I don't know.
Matt, you gonna buy one?
Yeah, right. If I had the money, I would.
Should have bought your car, man.
I wouldn't have 25 grand if
Yeah,
I didn't buy my car.
Did you see that pic I sent you of the Stitch, the two screens next to each other? If
no.
anybody wants to see something cool, I saw this on Engadget. It's a picture of two of these 4,000 resolution 84-inch LEDs next to each other, almost like dual monitors, to where one holds half and one holds the other half, and you're pretty much at the stadium at that point.
You didn't send it to me, so thanks.
Yeah, I didn't get it
It
either.
was in the email. It was in the email. If you look at the second link, thank you.
Oh.
Oh,
Thought you said
Oh,
yes.
oh.
Yes, I did see that. Yes, that's right here.
okay. No, that
We
went
were
nowhere.
prepared this week.
No,
So,
it was just the next tab in my internet or Google Chrome.
so
And
Matt,
yeah,
you use Windows 7, right?
sure do.
An upgrade date,
Sure am, maybe.
maybe. Does the incentive of cloud-based gaming draw you in at all?
No.
No? Well, for those that it does, Microsoft announced its deal with the cloud streaming company Agoe. I don't know how to pronounce it. Uh, but what they're going to do is they're going to bring cloud-based gaming to Windows 8 and the Azure platform. They're focusing on mid-core games like Facebook-type games for now, almost to test it, and they're going to see where they can go from there. Steven, what do you think? Is this a good way to compete in the PC gaming market? Because compared to consoles, PC has been kind of dragging.
It's been dragging, but I don't see PC cloud-based gaming being as effective. I mean, most of the time when you play a PC game, you're playing online, and if you have an offline adventure, I don't know. The market seemed to have gone to consoles, so I don't see the cloud-based gaming being that important. I see more of a cloud-based, um, like I see it working for other PC files better than gaming files. I don't know. It's just I don't see it as too important, I guess. This story was kind of a dud to me. I don't see it as a bit. I don't see cloud-based gaming or cloud-based anything as a giant deal in the market.
Matt, you agree with Steven? Pretty bold accusation.
It's pretty bold, Steve. I don't know how you can pick these so far right or so far left. Something I can't do. I don't know why.
He's so far right. You know what?
I don't get what you're trying to say.
I'm saying he's a Republican.
Oh, I don't know politics terms.
All right, whatever. What
Wow.
was your point?
My point was that
Oh,
I don't.
Jesus.
He lost it. Oh my God.
Everything's
He made
been
one joke
yeah.
and he lost it.
It's
No,
been
no, no, no.
slow on the pickup today, Zawissa.
Oh, I'm gonna fly through the rest of our articles, huh?
I think that console games are behind the times. I think as time goes on, they're going to be pushed away. They're going to be the less popular type of game to play. What's going to happen is stuff like free-to-play games and cloud-based gaming are going to become the norm. They're ahead of the time. It cuts down on piracy. It cuts down on a bunch of junk that happens with console-based games.
I'm cutting you off right here before you ramble too much. You're saying that a free-to-play game wouldn't exist on the PlayStation? They've already got a once failed MMO that's gone free-to-play and is actually making them a lot of money now. That's succeeded. They've got microtransactions on PlayStations. They've got the smaller market. I mean, these things will happen on the PlayStation. And you're saying they're behind the times? You're seeing games come out delayed on PC, if not never come out on PC, when they already come out on the console. I mean, obviously they're not developing for PC nearly as much, so I think it's going to fall by the wayside. We already have cloud-based save files for PlayStation Plus. Storage has been bounced up to a gig, so I can go to your house, load my PlayStation Plus files, and I can play the game right there. We already have it for the consoles, so PC's just trying to play catch up at this point.
I'm saying as time goes on, though, PlayStation relies on this physical CD. Unless PlayStation 4 or 5 or 6, they move to a no disc format. That's when they'll catch up, I believe. That's what I mean. Like, the disc format is behind the times, was what I was saying.
Okay, then I'm going to hit you with this one that's not included in anything we talked about. Announced today is Borderlands 2 will be available on release on the PlayStation Network. I mean, it's here. I don't see why you're not seeing it the way I'm talking about it.
Because you're a PlayStation fanboy, I just want to counter argue you. I just don't know how.
Well, no, the point is they have games available on the PlayStation Network that you can just download. They've got cloud-based gaming. They have it all. Seth, you find somewhere in the middle or find a side to go on.
I think I like the fact that Windows is trying to I think they're trying to fight not the hardcore market, but as I said, what they're going for, the Facebook market and the kind of mid-core games. But my biggest problem is that they're lending it out to a third party. I think the fact that it's not Microsoft doing it themselves says something, as A, they're in gaming themselves, and B, as we know, one little Microsoft update can fuck with the whole company. It could they could put down their own service essentially. Because if Windows does something, are they gonna have to prompt Awagi or how the fuck you pronounce it? Are they gonna have to let them know ahead of time? I prefer this kind of if you're gonna go with cloud-based for PC, I think Microsoft's just doing it wrong. I don't think Sony's gonna fight on the cloud, Steven. I have to disagree with you there. PlayStation Plus, they're really trying to push hard. I don't see that whole cloud-based gaming taking off, period, and I think Microsoft did it wrong this time.
All right, so if you don't think cloud-based gaming will take off, how would you like your games to be saved? I mean, the old cartridge system, if the cartridge, something happened with that, it'd be screwed. You couldn't take it anywhere. Memory cards, you could take somewhere else. I mean, what would you prefer over that? If my PlayStation's dead, I lose all my save files. It happened to me once already. I prefer to have a cloud-based system to keep it behind.
I just don't think that that's what everyone's going to want. I think there's something about having a physical disc, and backup your save files. I have all my PSP ones backed up on my external. I'm going to save all my PS3 ones. I take care of it just like the rest of my content. But I just think with how the market's structured between the used game industry and how lucrative that is at this point, that cloud's just a way to try and combat that, and I don't think it's going to work. I just think gamers are stuck in their ways, believe it or not. They're not willing to really expand that much. There are some of the most obnoxious people who are stuck in a rut and you couldn't believe. And Matt helps bring up right now World of Warcraft. You are, so shut up.
Excuse me?
You are stuck in your ways. You are a person who you're not. You're like the old timer who, when something new comes along, you're not always for it.
When something new comes along, what are you trying to get at? What do you mean?
He's saying you'd agree with
Are you
him.
Are you down for cloud-based, Matt?
Yeah.
I think in theory you are, but if it would actually come out, you would have so many problems with it, and you'd be QQing so hard about it.
Because I want something that's perfect, and that's never going to happen. So I'm always going to pick apart everything new that comes out and say, I don't like this about it, I don't like this about it, I don't like this about it.
So finicky. You're finicky. That's kind of the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
But he disagrees with you. He said he'd prefer a cloud-based system, right, Matt?
I would prefer a cloud-based system.
Well, Matt's saying he would prefer a cloud-based system until he actually plays on one on a regular basis.
Well, not a system, just cloud-based as a way of saving content.
Now, Matt, do you download any games at all virtually?
The only game that I don't have a physical copy for is Portal 2.
League of Legends.
Well,
There is no hard disk for League of Legends, though.
Well, that's my point, but everything is saved on a server somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And you prefer that.
Yes.
That's my whole point.
No, Matt's got everything hard copy, though. That's my point.
Not my save files. You guys are talking two things. Steven's talking about saving my content, and you're talking about the physical game itself.
Yes, because that's what I brought up in the beginning.
So how can you? Oh, okay, yeah, that's what you brought up in the beginning. But how you guys are comparing grapes to oranges right now?
The expression is apple to oranges. Let's move on because this isn't going anywhere. Matt's gonna say, yeah, no, yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Well, all I know is Matt's finicky.
Any game, anywhere, instantly.
No, I just don't think it's that way. Matt, are you a big fan of Valve after this week?
What do you mean?
I mean, they had some big announcements this week. They finally, all their big revolutionary ideas that you guys couldn't wait for, and they're so innovative, and well, they're here.
They haven't said that this is what their innovation was, by the way. This is something that was speculated a long time ago. They talked about a long time ago. I don't think this is the major thing they were talking about.
Well, I'll bring it up then. The first is Valve's big picture mode, which essentially to me kind of looks like Apple TV. It's a way to hook up your PC to your TV, and then be able to have Steam on your TV essentially. This is one of the two big announcements this week. To start with this one, Matt, are you excited for this, or does this not tickle your fancy?
It doesn't apply to me because I don't use Steam.
But if you were, this whole podcast is not going to work out if you don't step outside for a second. If you were to be interested in Steam, do you think this is a good direction for them to go in?
I see it. I've already had this. How do I word this? I don't know how to word it. I would have already had this capability if I used Steam. I could just plug my computer tower into a TV.
But this is an easier interface, basically.
Yeah, you don't need to have your computer, your tower right next to your TV.
It's like a separate box where all your games are available online. You stream the game and you can play it right then.
Stream through Wi-Fi, so your computer is essentially just the hard drive holding it, and you'd be playing it on your TV. Nothing about that is fun to you?
Oh, so when your internet's real shitty, you're not gonna be able to play the game at all?
Well, that's how most online games are.
You can have your computer upstairs, you go downstairs, and you can play it on your nice giant television, so nothing has to be right next to each other to play your Steam games. I'm going to go ahead and say this is a good idea. I mean, as much as I like to knock Apple, it's one of the smartest things they've done, is made their whole library online in a small box. And I think it's great. It's a great way to move in this whole game streaming, game saves, cloud-based gaming. I think it's a great thing to have a way to communicate it over Wi-Fi. And Matt, even if it's not over your Wi-Fi, your LAN isn't going to be really shitty, is it? If your LAN's terrible, then you just have terrible internet, and you need to move.
Well, you said Wi-Fi, not LAN.
Well, it goes across your computer. It goes across the network, basically. Seth, what are your thoughts on this, I guess?
I have to say, for Steam, it works. We see a lot of different companies going to that box. Google's got a box. Sony's got a box. I mean, Sony's box and TVs, if you go through the menu, it's just like PlayStation menu. Apple's got a box. Valve now has a box that I think has better game capabilities. The one thing I do think is that's limiting it right now is it only has the gaming feature. But if they could hook on Netflix, have some of those other apps that some of the other boxes have, I think I'd like it because I am a Steam gamer, or I used to be more than I am right now. But there's nothing wrong with getting a game for $20 and playing the shit out of it. And a lot of them are called classics.
Okay, well, I'll bring up this point then. We've been talking weeks previously, probably about a month and a half ago, about Ouya, the Kickstarter thing. It's a small box, $100. You can play games on it, basically. This is essentially that through Steam. Do you think you think Valve beat them to the punch? You think it's a similar idea? You think they stole it? Matt, what are your thoughts on that? I'll go to you first.
I actually wanted to counteract Seth, but I don't want to interrupt you guys. I was going to jump in, but then I was get bitched at. You're interrupting me.
Go. You never get bitched at for interrupting.
Yeah, you never interrupt. You just sit there and you have to go, Matt, what's your thoughts on this?
Because you guys bitch at each other for interrupting, so I don't want to do it. And then get bitched at. Anyways, Seth, last week we brought up Valve was coming out with this new hardware idea because they want to be innovative in hardware. This is a hardware, and last week you were just saying Valve shouldn't do hardware. Valve sticks to software, what they know and what they're good at.
I'm not saying that they're going to make a ton of money. And what I said last week, and I will cut you off, is that it's not going to be anything innovative. And it's not. As Steven pointed out, I don't think it's a stolen idea, Steven. I think that everyone's got one of these in development, and this is just Valve's time to release it. Now, continue trying to argue with that. Go ahead.
What do you mean continue?
I told you. What I said last week was I don't think that they're in this innovative space. They make one product right now. They're suggesting one.
I know, but this isn't software. This is a piece of hardware. You said Valve should stay away from hardware completely.
Because they're talking about they were talking last week about remaking the entire market, like being the best and being the most innovative in that market. That I completely disagree with.
Maybe this is just a step towards the beginning of it. They need to start somewhere.
Do you think their other announcement this week is that innovative too?
No.
Their headset plans. It's essentially going to be kind of like virtual reality. It's the next step. Everyone's thinking that this idea is going to be the next thing to replace our phones. And before we talk about non-original ideas, I'll put my 2 cents. Sony's going to announce one of these. Google already announced one of these. It'll be a matter of time before everyone's got one of these on the market, and I think it's going to be a bust. So I'm not impressed.
You want to buy the Google Glass? You said it looks great.
The Google one.
This is different.
I don't think it'll work for gaming, and B, yeah, I'm down to being a fad every once in a while. Fads can be fun.
Well, I'm just gonna say this is a little different than that because what this is, it's not like Google Glass where you can see the outside world and do everything else. This is a headset, essentially. It's something where it shows you a different display. I mean, the thing that Sony announced that you were going to touch on later is essentially like a panoramic television that you put over your head. And I think that's what this is going to be more of. I think they're not going to take off in the augmented reality side. I think the technology isn't there, so I think it's going to change, and it's just going to be like a TV you wear on your head. I think that's all it's going to be. It's going to find a small market. They're going to sell a bit, probably break even in cash-wise.
I think they're going to break even because right now, it looks like they're in the early development stages. I've seen some photos with just wires hung all over a SKU, and
well, that's anything.
I know, but what I'm saying is, how much money will it take to break even? They're investing a lot of money in this innovative hardware, and so far, I'm just suspicious because they announced it, a week and a half ago, and they released these two things. I think that they don't have a lot going on. They're just trying to promote themselves. I don't like this idea. I think the TV idea is okay for them.
I don't like either one.
Wait, why not?
Kind of for all the reasons you guys already said.
I agree with the TV thing. I agree you can put something on over your head to have a gaming experience that's essentially panoramic. I mean, everyone's looking for a bigger TV, bigger TV. And essentially, this is a TV that goes across your whole field of vision.
And to be fair, we don't know a lot about what the Valve one offers, and the only thing we know about the Sony prototype is that it's going to be at the Tokyo Game Show in a week and a half-ish.
It's going to have a user demo, actually, where you can it's open to the public for the first time. When they were showing it off at CES earlier this year, that's the one, right? Yeah. When they were showing it off earlier this year, it wasn't open to the public. Only people who can test it were the press and the media who can discuss it. But this one's finally open to the public, so I see it going somewhere.
You think Sony will lose money on this project too? You're talking about Sony losing money. And can this be potentially used for video games too? Want to talk about the panoramic view on television? It's, potentially only one step away from gaming.
It was demoed. A couple of games were demoed, and they said that at that time, since it was still an early demo of the product, that they still only had an issue with frame rates, but if they can keep up with everything else, of course it's going to be used for gaming. I think this is the first step It's this and its motion controls are the two first steps towards augmented reality, which is essentially what everybody thinks is going to be the future of the market and what people are yearning for. So I see this as a positive step. Again, I think it's Sony jumping to the gun before other people are in terms of the giant televisions, the one you can put on your head. It's innovation. We're finally seeing more innovation come out of Japan like we used to in the early to mid 90s. So I'm kind of excited for it. I'd buy one.
I don't know. Sorry, I don't have anything else to say on this topic. I don't know. I think that everyone's playing around in this market too. I I don't know. I don't know if it's for me or not. I think Google Glass is for me. I think they all might be fads, but that's really what I think about that.
You don't want to be immersed in the world. You don't want to make it so, as you turn your head, you're not going to see black, you're going to see a screen. You don't see the future to this, it's not for you.
What I do when I play video games, I walk around my apartment. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm drinking Mountain Dew. I think the total immersion, it'll be too much. I know that's very strange to say, but
Would you say that you're a gamer stuck in your ways?
I think all gamers are stuck in their ways.
Now that's where I got to disagree with you. And Matt's a prime example.
How?
He hated free to play. And now he's put money into a free to play game. His eyes are opening. He's finally starting to get some digital games. I think things are changing for him a little bit.
Yeah, how long has free to play been around? What was his first remarks? How long did it take for him to warm up and finally get to it?
And now he loves it, and it's changing the way he
He
plays.
likes one.
Yeah, I'll agree with Seth there. It's only one game.
One turns to two.
And it's a MOBA, so that's what he's for. I don't know. Matt's playing around with different game styles, going back to RTSs, had some MMOs, now he's playing RPG shooters. I think he's just looking for something new.
Aren't we all?
I like good story RPGs. I don't know if I need anything new. I don't. I'm not looking for the next big thing. I don't. I don't mind playing all my old shit.
So what do you think about all these remakes to old shit?
What do you mean? Now, what do you want to talk about? Remix old shit for? Are we talking about remaking old
Both.
content?
Both. Talking about remaking old content and bringing back old series as new. Kind of like the new Double Dragon Neon that completely tanked. The Tekken Tag Tournament. Rayman just had an HD game. I mean, all this old school stuff is coming back. What do you think?
I think that it's good. I mean, it's the same with movies. I mean, a lot of old movies are coming out and doing remakes. I don't like direct remakes. I don't have a problem with a series coming back.
I do.
Matt.
I mean, but yeah, go to Matt.
What about Devil May Cry? What do you think of that game? How they're remaking it, giving them a different
Who,
look.
me?
Yeah.
Not enough time.
Not enough time to let the game simmer. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I think there's a time frame. I think it's just like everyone going back and watching 90s cartoons. There's a certain time that needs to go by in order for you to just start, going on.
See,
I don't care what anyone says. 90s cartoons are the best. You look at the cartoons now, you're just like, what the fuck is this shit?
I gotta stop rudely interrupting. But my point to that was there's that new Ren and Stimpy cartoon that completely bombed on Spike. That was new episodes of an old series. I mean, you're seeing that with games too. Sure, Double Dragon is in 3D now, and it's got all this other stuff, but it's still a terrible beat 'em up.
Did you play it, Steven? I believe it was free for PlayStation Plus.
I tried it, hated it. I mean, it was the only reason I tried it out is because there were two reviews on it. Both of them said it was a terrible game. Now recently I've been seeing lower reviews on a couple different websites where, normally a website would give it like a 6 or a 5. They gave it a 3. And I think another one gave it a 3.5 out of 10. So I'm used to seeing higher numbers, so I'm like, this game can't be that bad. And it is. It's a terrible, terrible game.
But it's free.
It's
Can't fault it there.
I understand how you can want to go to old school gaming and play old school games. That's fine. But if you're gonna make a game that controls the same way, it just doesn't hold up. You can't. You understand that when you play a Super Nintendo game, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be as responsive. When you do that with a new game like this, it makes it feel stale and bad.
Matt, is there anything you want to see come back? Because clearly Stephen hates this topic.
Final Fantasy VII. Gonna say it every week.
Well, no.
You're gonna say now. I'm not even talking about remakes. I'm talking about old franchises. That too. That's a completely different thing. I mean, with Double Dragons, Tekken Tag, which is successful, the Secret of Mana series they're making one for. Don't be surprised to see a new Chrono Trigger game down the line. Is there anything else like that you'd like to see come back?
Xenosaga.
That may be right on.
Yeah, the Xeno universe, because Gears was like 1,000 years beforehand or something.
You think I think the cycles almost come back too. And Xenogears, I can't even tell if it's related or not at this point, to be honest.
They have some sort of connection, but
yeah, I mean it's essentially the same story but with different names for everything. So that's where it's kind of confusing.
Zohar.
I mean, I just want to see new IPs. We've had so many sequels come out that even if they reboot a franchise with something they have sequels for, I'm not interested. I think Devil May Cry was just long enough. I would have given it another 2 or 3 years. I would have waited for the next gen. So that way Devil May Cry 4 felt stale. But that's a reboot versus bringing something back. I don't know. There's a slight difference. If we're going to have another Lufia game, I don't want it. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going. There's a big difference. I love Lufia, I know, but I don't want to see another one.
What about the Saga series? You know, the last one that came out, I believe, was for PS2, which tanked. Saga Frontier was very popular. Same with Romantic Saga. At least Romantic Saga had a reemergence in the ROM world.
I mean, essentially, I see that stemming off more of Chrono Trigger. We got a group, a party, but the stories are different. I don't know. It can't survive in this market. It's that type of game just can't exist. And if they try to remake it, it's going to go the same route that Double Dragon went.
There's none you'd like to see.
None. Absolutely none. Give me new games. Give me new game experiences.
Do you think, now you don't like to see them, Matt has like one or two, but is there anything that you think would be next? Or do you think it's unpredictable at this point?
I think you're going to see more story-based things come ahead. I think the remakes are going to essentially be more of the action games, the beautiful-looking games, I should say. They're redoing. You got a ton of HD remakes, and they're all essentially visual games like Devil May Cry. You're going to see more story-based games like role-playing games, as you said, the Mana series, some of the other examples you brought up. I think just stuff like that, you're going to see more updates instead of remakes. I guess that's the way I should phrase it.
Yeah, I see, and I would like to see a lot of franchises come back. I'm very surprised, Stephen, that you're disagreeing with me on this one. Breath of Fire, absolutely. And some of them, I don't know how to bring back either. I'd love to see Mega Man come back, but I don't know how to bring him back. I really don't.
See, I see the difference too between sequels and coming up with a new game. Because Double Dragon Neon is no way a sequel to anything. Tekken Tag Tournament, I have no problem with. I have more of a problem with Circle of Mana, where it's just kind of like a fresh play on something old. It's kind of like, like putting cologne on a piece of shit. It's still kind of a piece of shit.
Now, what about Breath of Fire? That's essentially the same story every single time. Hell, the guy looks the same every time, too.
Yeah, and it would probably tank if it came out again. I mean, you saw Dragon Quarter didn't do too well, and that was just enough time. If they brought it back now, it'd be dead in the water.
What do you think if they made Xenosaga 4?
They couldn't do 4.
No.
They'd have to reboot the whole franchise and start fresh.
Like I said, as long as they make it for the next gen, that's my same argument for Devil May Cry, is that you can wait long enough for a sequel if it's appropriate. Xenosaga, I'm not sure if it's too appropriate.
It's getting close because they never had a PS3 version, did they?
No.
No, and that's what I mean. So it's getting close. So if they wanted to continue, I feel like they should come up with a parallel story and not a direct sequel. I don't know. What was the other example of Devil May Cry? They kept trying to make it sequential, and for the one for PS3, I was not a big fan of because It was just too long in between to do sequential. If they had DMC come out in place of Devil May Cry 4, I would have been a bigger fan of that.
I mean, I think this is something we're going to see a lot regardless. What was it, Contra came out with a version downloadable maybe about a year back? Or Casey got it.
Yeah, and it didn't. I mean, the reviews weren't stellar on that either.
But it was Contra, and it probably sold a good bit because it's, it's just the value of the name. I think Crystalis is next, Steven.
That's been long. That's been long enough to where I think it could be successful. And
but
plus,
it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't too. It wasn't amazingly popular, and it's not like Double Dragon where there was a slew of the similar type of game that came out. See, I think I think it's apples and oranges at that point.
No, I don't know half the games you guys are talking about.
No Breath of Fire, no Crystalis, no Mana. You don't know the Mana series, Secret of Mana?
The only games that I knew that we've been talking about for like the past 5-10 minutes are Xenosaga, Final Fantasy.
The ones you brought up.
And DMC.
What about the Blue Bomber?
I know Mega Man, but I've never played a Mega Man game.
You've never played the Mega Man game?
Nope.
All right. Then I feel like we should have a series.
Okay. Beat you with a stick.
Here's proposed on the podcast, and I'll propose it to Seth before I propose it to Matt, because the series has to do with Matt. And if we get 2 out of 3 on board, then we have your opinion.
I'm down. Let's go.
Okay. It's Matt's old school reviews. So essentially, we get an old Super Nintendo, or we buy old copies of the game. We do this the right way, and he does emulation with a controller. No save state, no load state. And we bring him through some of these old school gaming experiences to, 1, enlighten him, and 2, to see how someone who's a little further ahead, because Matt, I mean, you started with PlayStation essentially, right?
No.
Sega Genesis.
I've had all the systems. Like I had an NES, I had a SNES, I had Sega.
What'd you play for the NES, Matt?
God, I can't even remember. I was so young at that point. That was on NES.
Yeah, that's what.
SNES, I had like
Tiny Toon Adventures.
I had Tiny Toons. I had like Inspector Gadget. I had like Mickey Mouse games.
But nothing that was known as like a hardcore game, right?
No.
Okay.
No RPGs.
No JRPGs. You missed out on the golden era.
I had Zelda on NES, but I didn't know how to play it.
Okay, that's my idea. Matt, you down?
Perhaps.
We'll bed. That's 2.5 out of 3.
Perhaps. Like, I'd have to see how it goes. Like, if I'm enjoying myself, I would definitely do it. But if it's like I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, I'd rather be playing this game instead of that, then I'd say no.
Well, if it sucks, we're not forcing you to play it till you beat it here.
We're just trying to get your opinion.
You go play it for an hour and say, oh my god, it's absolutely blows. I can't even beat the first boss of Mega Man. I have no health. Which you wouldn't get until you play. But, what's the first game you remember ever playing, Matt?
God, I had Duck Hunt on NES, or like the first Mario game. Probably one of those. I had a Double Dare game.
Jesus.
Like the TV show. I had that on NES.
I think I've seen my screen caps of that. It's terrible. Isn't it just like trivia?
Pretty much.
You can do any of the challenges.
They had a Guts game too.
Yeah, I didn't have that one.
Should have had
Who didn't want to be in Guts?
Game. Legends of the Hidden Temple, I would have preferred over Guts and Global Guts, but I would have preferred either of them, really.
Absolutely on Guts. 100%.
All right.
Matt, as a fat kid, did you have any aspirations?
To be on it, yeah.
Who didn't? Like, you just went back into 90s games.
Dude,
come on.
Who didn't want to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple?
I know.
I would have preferred Guts first.
Matt, who's your team? Who is your color animal? Just off the top of our heads, come on. Silver Snakes, Matt.
I was just going to say Silver Snakes.
Fuck yeah, Seth. You the Blue Barracuda?
No, I can't remember them all.
Oh, Jesus. Red Parrots, maybe, right?
Orange Iguanas.
Yeah, Blue Barracudas. Silver Snakes. Close enough. God, Seth.
I thought Matt would have been the red ones, wherever the fuck the red ones were.
Is it Red Iguana?
Who knows?
All right, don't look it up. Yeah, later.
We're getting way off topic. Jesus.
That's fine. More digressions.
Do I go back to video games?
Oh, there's one on the tip of my tongue.
Once Matt thinks of this one. What's the green one?
No, Matt, that's just a dick. Oh, shit.
I think it was purple parrots, not red parrots.
Yeah, I think it's Red Iguana.
Wasn't there a panther?
No, it was definitely orange iguana.
Orange
I
iguana.
know I know orange iguana, blue barracuda, silver snakes, and purple parrots for
Red
sure.
monkeys. Is that it?
No. Green monkeys.
Green monkeys. I
What?
knew it. No.
Green
No.
monkeys.
No,
Yes.
it wasn't Green Monkeys.
It's all
Yes.
staying in, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's
Now that we're off topic, I'm gonna go.
what is red though? That's the last one that I don't know.
I figured that would be yours. No, Casey's the red fan. I'm
If
confused.
anybody knows, email us at knownothingpc@gmail.com. Cheap plug. It's KNOW, not NO.
Get
Can I,
right.
can
I
I
said
keep
that in my
talking about
sexy
old school
voice.
games for a second?
Go ahead.
Because although I hate people who obsess with NES stuff, I by far think the cartridges, as far as SNES, I think Nintendo had it right up until 64. I hate disc-based gaming. I prefer cartridge gaming.
See, the thing with disc-based gaming is that, or using a memory card as opposed to a cartridge, is that cartridge batteries die out eventually. So I seen it as being more sustainable. I liked, let's see, I'll go ahead and I'll go Game Boy Color. I like the small cartridges you can take out and carry. I wish I was more of a fan of portable gaming now than I was before, but I think that was definitely the best route to go. So I understand the cartridges thing, but cloud-based is similar to a cartridge without the cartridge.
You know what I don't miss?
Oh. I knew it was coming the moment. Just a
Dude,
second for it to click.
when my girlfriend's Super Nintendo, we unboxed that thing. It was in their basement for, it had to be like probably 15 years. I brought that thing up in each of the games. I went and right back and forth because so much dust was piled in there. But I got the games working that way. It's like I got the fucking magic
Exactly.
touch.
Okay, now, if you scratch a disc, it won't work. But if you blow a cartridge, always works.
Yeah, but
You
you
can't go
wouldn't
wrong.
need the disc anymore because you got it on your memory card, bro.
Got it in the cloud. You don't need a disc
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly. What's so wrong with clouds? I like cloud. Except
Yeah.
Rutherford.
See,
Yeah,
I knew that was coming. The moment you say cloud instead of clouds, oh, cheesy joke incoming.
exactly.
Jesus. I would have thought it'd be Matt. Matt, do
You
you like any of the old ones? I have to say, Game Boy was pretty good. They were like perfect pocket size.
mm-hmm. And you
Was
had the little package you could carry, but it could like fit in your backpack. You have to like a whole backpack full of cartridges when you could have like this tiny little thing that had your Game Boy and all the games together. God,
to be
mobile gaming
fair,
is the best.
they Nintendo's still doing it with their cartridges. They're the size of my pinky at this point. But
It's just not the same.
you want to know what tanks? UMDs.
Hmm. And they're still trying them out.
And you know that some people like almost rebought their whole DVD collection because for a while they were releasing like UMD DVDs. That was going to be the next DVD, and they tanked. Kind of like HD DVDs. But
Well, because Sony kind of stepped on their own feet there for a second and started the forefront of Blu-rays, and everyone's like, I don't want to have this tiny thing. I'll just have a Blu-ray player. So I think
I
Sony
don't.
screwed themselves over with the portable UMDs.
I think they just had a bad time frame when we're going to see cloud-based and you know wireless-based gaming. Period. As far as being able to download something off of the store like the PlayStation Store. I thought they probably thought things were going to be in hand for a little longer than they were. I mean, what's the time between the PSP and the time of the iOS for like the iPhone mobile market?
Not long enough.
Exactly. I don't know. That and that I do like the original PlayStation Black discs. Some games had.
I mean,
Just,
I don't know. You can use them for anything though. I'd rather have a disc you can put somewhere, except for when they have the secret tracks. That was the best part. Matt, you know
yeah.
of any of the secret tracks?
What do you mean?
You put in your
Okay.
PlayStation with the cover open, and you press the power button, and you go into play it like you're going to play a CD, and then close the top. The first track was always all the game data, so that would never play. But a lot of video games had tracks in there, like Castlevania, obviously, is the most well-known example, where the voice actor for Alucard talks to you, and then they play music from the game. They used to have hidden tracks in some of the video games. I think that was the greatest Easter egg of any video game, was a hidden
Well, what
track.
what a lot of them did, and I'll say that you could put your video game disc in the CD player as well, and they would have some of them would have like the entire, all the sounds, the whole soundtrack for the game on that disc that you could put in and listen to like it was regular. Alucards was him telling you how you shouldn't do it because you could ruin the disc, and then they had a remix of the Symphony of Blood song. But you didn't know that, Matt?
No.
I remember Twisted Metal, which is, by the way, a game that I think may be coming back on the next gen.
It already came back.
It already came out.
No, I think it's going to make a strong comeback next gen. I know it came, what, a year and a half ago? A year ago?
Not even.
No, not even.
Maybe 8 months most. It was earlier this year.
I don't know. I think that's still got a market. But anyways, I knew you used to get all the game levels and all the audio tracks to that on the disc. So. Do you still have any of your old PlayStation discs, Matt?
I have them all somewhere.
Try it with GTA 1.
You have to have. You have your old PlayStation?
No, you could put it in a CD player, Steven.
Oh. Oh well.
Or your computer.
But track one's always the data. Track one never plays. If you ever
I
try.
always thought it was the last track.
Anyways, let's move on to a more sustainable topic instead of just us telling Matt things that he doesn't know. Let's get talking. What do you got?
Well, we were talking about HD remakes earlier. So we were talking about HD remakes earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What about they announced that a Killzone trilogy will be coming out. All 3 games. They're gonna have HD remakes. It's gonna be a bundle. They're all gonna be packaged nice together. They'll probably give you some dumb booklet along with it. To be honest, I didn't read too much about it because I'm not a huge fan of these bundles. But what do you guys think? Being able to fight the Hellgast and Killzone in HD.
Well, I never played Killzone or... I played Killzone 2. I never played Killzone, so that would be the main selling point for me. But I already have Killzone 2 and Killzone 3, so why even buy the bundle, you know? Maybe if they come out with like something on the PSN where you can just get Killzone HD.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised because the whole thing is coming out retail for $40, which isn't bad at all. I mean, I might pick it up because I never played Killzone 3 for longer than 5 minutes. I mean, it really is a good price.
Killzone is my favorite shooter on PlayStation.
I would have to agree with Matt here. Is the games are they're too new. It's the same thing I had with the what do you call it? The Devil May Cry series. I wasn't a giant fan. Luckily, the HD remake didn't count Final Fantasy IV, so the price wasn't too dramatic. But I just didn't see a point. That's all.
Did you say Final Fantasy? Matt, did you hear that?
I probably stumbled over my words. Yes.
Final Fantasy said it's Killzone. Anyways, I don't know. My only problem is they are straight HD remakes, so we may have the same problem as we saw.
The only remake is Killzone.
The original. Yeah.
Yeah, Killzone 2 and 3 are going to be the same game that they've already released. Although
With map packs.
they do come, I was going to say that both of them come with all the map packs that they've released.
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
It's good for someone who's now trying it out, but just buy the Killzone 3 multiplayer online. Matt, you want to do it? How about we do this tonight?
I still have my Killzone 3 disc.
All right, let's play some Killzone 3 tonight.
Possibly.
Okay.
You guys can get drunk and play video games. Where were you last Saturday, Steven?
What happened last Saturday? I was working till close. I was there till past 11 something. So.
Oh, because we were being really cool kids. We got drunk and played video games.
Oh well.
And I was hung the fuck over the next day. Matt?
That's what you get when you can't hold your liquor.
What about you, Matt?
I thought it's when you let your heart win.
Yeah, it is. I was good. I can hold my liquor.
Liar.
Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker.
Whatever. I don't know the segue.
Host, be a host. Yes, I was waiting for you to move on.
No, I actually kind of like letting somebody sit in silence, so maybe they'll say a comment, and then the conversation kind of dies. It's very common. Anyways, Matt.
What up?
You love League of Legends, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to play every single MOBA now?
No.
I think they've officially jumped the shark. You know what I'm saying?
Jump the shark?
Jesus.
You really don't know anything, do you?
We know nothing.
that could be... Matt, right now, Google jump the shark while I go over this next topic. Guardians of Middle-earth, a Lord of the Rings MOBA coming out. For those of you who don't know what MOBA is, it's I use more acronyms.
Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. That's off the top of my head. That's what it is.
Anyways, a Lord of the Rings version is coming out shortly. I don't believe the release date was announced. And by the way, backwards, the Killzone 1 through 3 is coming out October 23rd for $40. But yeah, we're going to see all your favorite heroes in Guardians of Middle Earth. While Matt's currently still Googling Jump the Shark.
No, I
Steven.
got it. I got it.
Okay.
Do you guys want to know what it is?
We know what it is.
I'm going to tell you anyway.
Go ahead.
It's a term to describe a moment when something that was once great has reached a point where it will now decline in quality and popularity.
Where'd it come from?
The origin of this phrase comes from a Happy Days episode where the Fonz jumped a shark on water skis. Thus was labeled the lowest point in the show.
So do you think this is the lowest point of MOBAs?
Do you think they finally jumped the shark?
Not League of Legends itself, but I feel like everybody and their mother is trying to make a MOBA.
I think Lord of the Rings is the line. Because we've seen a Lord of the Rings MMO, and that was like at the tip of the bubble. I think we're seeing it now with the MOBA universe as well. And I don't like it because, A, are we going to pin our favorite heroes against each other? And B, I mean, how good will it be? I mean, I don't think I've seen a good Lord of the Rings game, to be honest.
Well, my argument's this, and I brought this up earlier, and I was actually saving it for this discussion. I've been playing, actually, a couple games because I wanted to give it a completely fair assessment of a little MOBA I got invited to the closed beta for called Smite. And essentially, it's the same game, but it uses all gods from different types of, all the different religions and pantheons and so on and so forth. So, at first, when I first started playing it, I thought exactly what we thought it was going to be, is a cheap ripoff of League of Legends. I actually told that to Matt before, saying this game isn't any good, it's just kind of like a poor man's League of Legends. I take back my word, and I say that MOBAs are going to be the next FPS, where we're going to see some quality ones come out. We're definitely seeing some new originality, especially with Smite. I'll go into that afterwards. I guess I'll segue that into a review right now. But besides that, I don't know. I see us having more of a renaissance before we have an actual diminish.
So you think that we still have room to grow in this market? You think there's still potential growth?
Absolutely.
I don't know if there is any potential growth, only because of the place. I mean, we've seen the same layout for every single one of them. And, what kind of defines this kind of game? Is it 3 lanes, river across the middle, with some forests and stuff? I mean...
Well, how many team death matches have we seen in the first-person shooter? I mean, you're seeing Dominion in League of Legends, so you're going to see some new revolutionary things. With Smite, as I was going to talk about, it follows you over the shoulder more like a third-person adventure game, so it has a completely different play to it and a completely different feel. So that's the main reason I see room to grow in this market, is because of that one thing that this game has shown me. So, I don't know. We're going to see more game types, and I think we just need to give it some time.
I've seen a few over the shoulder. We talked a few weeks ago about one that was coming out for the iOS, the touchscreen one. That was over the shoulder, and it looks to be from a different angle. But my only problem with the room for growth is these games aren't based graphically, like shooters are. At least with shooters, we saw the evolution with graphics. We saw the evolution in controls. I don't think we have that range here.
Well, the market has been in place longer than we've known, because Dota's been in there for a long time, and Matt, what was the name of the game? I was trying to get you to get it on your PlayStation to get the free demo of it. It was essentially a 2D MOBA, remember?
Fat Princess?
No, that's not a MOBA. But I guess that is this like a... Yeah, that could be seen as a MOBA. I gotta defend the kid.
Yeah, I saw it as, yeah.
No, it's Psychonauts, or not Psychonauts, it's like a different game. Something like along those lines.
But Matt, are you going to explore all these?
No. No, I'll take my typical viewpoint on video games. I'll wait until one's either really popular and I know I'm going to enjoy it, or I'll wait until reviews come out and they say, hey, this game's pretty damn good, you guys should buy it. Then I'll try it.
Are you gonna?
Well, I'm not gonna go out there and try every single mode that ever comes out.
But you're also not a video game explorer. I'm sorry to cut you off, but just so people know, you don't like new things in video games in general. You prefer the safety of you prefer the comfort of a game you know, as opposed to trying something new.
Yep.
Oh, now you agree with him when I called you finicky earlier. You're inconsistent in the same pot. That's even worse than me.
I
got you, bro.
I'm inconsistent whenever I feel like it.
Anyways, I think another big issue with this is that we already see a league, like just with RTSs, when StarCraft was the first big one, everyone's stuck with StarCraft as far as hardcore gaming went. And I think people are going to stick with League as well. I think that it's going to be really hard for somebody to penetrate the upper echelon of players.
Penetrate.
Jesus.
What about Dota? What about Dota 2? That's in beta right now. You can actually buy a beta ticket. It's the first thing I've heard of, but I don't know who's stupid enough to buy their way into a beta.
I think that's just people buying them off each other, just like they did with Vista Pandora keys. I'm in queue for a free one, but I'm in queue. Who knows how long that is? I lied on my questionnaire too. I played a lot of MOBAs, Steven, in my day. I'm a very good person to test because I've played a lot of them. I play at least 10 hours a week, at least minimum.
I don't know. You just need to give it some more time. Did you know that? Yeah, like I'm supposed to be impressed.
No, I don't. What is what I'm saying? I lied. Just so I was better on the application because you have to apply and fill out a questionnaire. But I don't know. I don't think that it should be really hard to league play though, just because, again, you cut me off with penetrating. And you said, your girlfriend and boxing things earlier. And out of respect, I didn't say anything. But I don't know. I just don't know where we are. It's too early. We may have peaked already. Who knows? So that's what we have this week. We're going to hear up a few more things before we let you go. So what you guys been listening to lately and watching this week? All right, or I guess I'll go.
I'll have that one on purpose because you didn't throw it to one of us. Just like you're making fun of me about last week, so I'll let you sit there and drown.
Yep, just let it.
Not me, asshole.
Let it simmer.
That's what you did the whole podcast. I'm just letting you do it again. Awkward silence.
I did it after when you guys talk, not me though. It's not fair when it's me.
Seth, what else have you been doing this week?
Work, training.
Okay, that's interesting. Matt.
I've been, as a windstorm comes through here, I've been,
Cling, cling, cling. Sorry.
been watching more Big Brother. It's pretty much the only thing I've been watching.
Fuck Big Brother.
Stupid, man.
There's no point. Dan's gonna bring Danielle to the end and have her win it. Really? Really?
No, that's what he wants to win it. He's gonna come out and say that he's gonna win it.
No. You know why?
Why don't you guys just have a reality show fucking podcast? Jesus Christ.
No, but that's what this segment's about for this. Matt, he came on as a coach to win $100,000, right?
Yeah.
Second place he gets $100,000. He doesn't care. He already won once. He's so good, I think he wants to prove that he can make someone else win. Because I don't think he can beat Danielle. He definitely can't beat Ian at the end, if he brings it to the end. And I don't think he beats Danielle. That's why he kicked out Shane. That's why he kicked out all these people.
It can go two ways. It depends on how
they vote. I know.
It depends on how they vote. If they vote on gameplay, Dan beats anybody.
Hands down. But either way, he carries Danielle to the end. Danielle did nothing the whole season.
That's what I'm saying. If they vote on gameplay, Dan wins hands down. If they vote because their butt hurt, he's not going to win against either one of them.
Well, the problem is the only person that's been in the game, I know Seth, you're bored, but I want to get some filler in here. The only person who's been in the game before is Brittany, and she was the one who was so fucked over by Dan with that funeral that he pulled that right out of his ass, and now he's going to be the final. I think she said he's the best player, but I hate him when she left the house, so I don't know which way she's voting. What do you think about Frank and Danielle having that screaming fight?
I was just like, oh my god, really, guys?
And then the best look is I didn't actually watch it, but my girlfriend made me watch when he said, Dan was talking about, blood's on my hands, it's all the way up to my elbows now. Shane, you're going home. and then Danielle's face when her jaw basically hit the floor. Probably one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. I guess.
He tries to spin
I'm face palming right now, okay?
Oh, no, if you watched it, it's
we
more
know
money.
Nothing. A reality show podcast.
Hey, that's what I hope this spins off to is a fucking video game one day.
Hey,
know nothing
guys,
movie
go ahead.
podcast.
Cover on your own fucking podcast, okay?
Hey, it's an outro about the other things. We spent 45 minutes talking about who gives a shit. Might as well talk about something. For 2. Yeah, I don't know. Dan's going to be in the final 2. Ian's going to say he's in the pact for the final 2. I don't know. Dan's already won the money. And I think America's vote is going to be for Frank anyway, so I think he's going to get some extra cash.
Yeah, I hope it's for Frank.
All right, I'm just going to throw this question to you. I'm probably going to edit it out, but just to annoy Seth some more, who do you think, if Dan wins the $100,000, do you think he's won more money than Boogie or Will has? Because Boogie and Will, both their games, always just shot for the $10,000, $20,000 instead of like immunity. We're trying to figure out who's made the most money in Big Brother history.
They've actually won the game though too.
So is Dan.
Oh yeah.
So they're all flat. So it's Dan's 100,000 versus Boogie picked up 20,000, or he picked up 30,000 already in All Stars because he won the 20,000 instead of giving himself immunity, and he won the 10,000, gave 6,000 to Ian, and gave 1,000. Or remember that 6,000 himself. Yeah. So he's already won 26,000 this game. So he's pretty close up there to whoever's won the most. I'll edit it out, Seth, just for you.
Do you guys want to play Guess Those Sounds?
Sure.
Nah.
Sounds like this. Any guesses?
Yeah, keep doing it until you pass out.
No, you want to hear a funny sound? This is the sound I got. Did you hear that?
You guys want to hear a funnier sound?
I lost audio, Steven. That's why.
I face rolled, basically.
You guys want to hear a funnier sound?
Okay. All right, this whole thing's a mess. I'll throw this at the end right now. We're on Game Informer. This is a bad podcast. Oh, fine.
I watched Hell's Kitchen this week.
In the wrong person
winner. Go ahead. Sorry.
We're on Game Informer. If any of you have found us, I apologize for this podcast. Please check out last week's. It was much better. But what we're going to be doing is kind of cross-promoting the two of them. On Game Informer, we're going to post a weekly article. This week is our favorite video game moment, and we're going to throw most of our video game reviews on there. And on the podcast, we have discussion of the news topics for the week, so things that would normally be posted on the website's main page. We're going to try to have more personal-based things in the blog and our reviews there as well. So if you're from Game Informer, thank you for checking us out. Don't judge us on this week. Judge us on last week's or a different week. But it's been a long week here, but definitely check out our Game Informer. We're Know Nothing PC, KNOWNOTHING PC. Through the Game Informer is our username. We're also, that's our Twitter handle, that's our Facebook, that's our email at Gmail. Just check us out. Let us know if you're listening.
All right. Well, that's it this week. Peace.
See ya.
Wait.